During the years when Alfa Romeo was still planning its triumphant return to North America, it all seemed like a pipe dream destined for the scrap heap of misguided business plans in Fiat's corporate offices. I mean, at the time, they were just toying around with the 8C and 4C and a bunch of little hatchbacks and a couple sedans, and they delayed the arrival more times than Tesla has missed production targets. But Fiat knew they had a brand with history. Next came the Giulia, and it's another car that some people might buy just to be able to say the name every time people ask them what they drive, but it arrives just as the market is running from sedans like they will give them the plague. Luckily for Alfa Romeo, it read the signs correctly, and the Stelvio SUV arrived hot on the heels of the Giulia and its quadrifoglio variant, and now the brand is in business in earnest in North America. Sure, it is early days yet, but sales are growing by leaps and bounds, already selling more cars in the first 3 months of this year than they did in the first half of last year. The 2.0-liter Turbo 4, at 280 horsepower and 306 pounds-to-foot of torque, is a bit more aggressively tuned than the 2.0 TS from its German rivals, and at 4,044 pounds in base trim doesn't weigh much more than them, so its acceleration to 60 miles per hour is impressive, pegged at 5.4 seconds. It's reasonably efficient too, posting city, highway, combined ratings of 17, 23/19 miles per gallon, and I finished off at 19 during winter-like weather even while driving more aggressively than usual because of the Stelvio's charms. When chasing maximum acceleration in dynamic mode, the 8-speed automatic snaps off quick shifts without pause, and a gigantic pair of paddle shifters are at your disposal to flick through those gears at a moment's notice. It is phenomenal. Other premium SUVs with performance upgrades can corner flatter and out-accelerate the T, but the upcoming quadrifoglio will likely crush them. This T, however, even outdoes some of the mid-sporting models with fluid transitions and excellent chassis and steering feedback to capture that ultimate driving feel that makes piloting an ordinary vehicle an occasion unto itself. The steering has the right mixture of weight and feel, and the suspension is compliant enough to absorb all sorts of potholes and bumps without excessive crashing around. In other more ordinary conditions, it's an easygoing cruiser on the highway, especially equipped with adaptive cruise, and nimble enough with lighter steering in normal mode for city traffic. Although it has a backup camera to help with parking, the rear visibility is pretty atrocious, so it does offer some challenges backing into or out of parking spots. There are a couple more things I have to complain about, too: the massive paddle shifters and the odd fabric on the steering wheel. The paddle shifters are so big they can get in the way of the other stalks, and because they're column-mounted, I swung and missed a couple of times when trying to change a gear with significant steering angle applied. It may not be a sports car, but it does some of the little things that make it feel a little more like one. There's also plenty of room to spread out and a nice wide armrest that positions your arm perfectly to manipulate the scroll wheel that controls the infotainment, and a couple splashes of wood trim to enrich the atmosphere in the cabin. Although some of the materials and switchgear aren't as polished as familiar luxury brands, at least it's not a parts bin shared with Chrysler and Dodge products like some of the Masertis. It is by no means perfect, but the 2018 Alfa Romeo Stelvio is an appealing proposition starting at $41,995 plus $995 for destination fees, but it takes the T-trim at $43,995 plus destination to complete the package with 19-inch wheels, 8.8-inch display screen, genuine wood accents. T models can then be tailored to suit different personalities with sport or lusso for those that prefer luxury appointments over 20-inch wheels, black trim and those sporty, highly bolstered seats. When it comes to Alfa Romeo's return to North America, I am still in shock that they actually made it across the pond, and the Stelvio is the key to growth and making it stick. The Stelvio isn't perfect, but it is entirely livable and does well to carve out its niche with a driving experience that lives up to the passion card the brand likes to play, but the elephant in the room is its reliability. Will it last? Will FCA sort out any production kinks that lead to repeatedly poor ratings from Consumer Reports and J.D. Power in their quality and reliability surveys? That's a leap of faith that owners will have to take. If Alfa doesn't turn around its reliability, it will burn through all those hopeful customers that were attracted to Stelvio and Giulia for its distinctive looks and experience in the luxury crossover market.